Thank you. Harry Carey, you know him, right? Harry Carey was famous, right? He was an iconic Chicago Cubs broadcaster. And he was famous for a catchphrase. And every time his team would do something amazing or hit a home run, he would shout it out with incredible energy and enthusiasm. And what it did was it showed his love not only for the game, but for his team and the integral part that he played in the process, because he certainly was part of that process. Think about it. A memorable face, and certainly the memorable voice of "Holy cow," right? And it's my honor today to actually be able to share a message with you and to be so feel humble in this great city of Chicago, where he became an absolute legend. So today, I want you to do this for me. I want you to picture yourself standing in your workplace. Standing in your workplace. And as you do that, are you immersed in a positive, high-performing culture where you are able to bring your A game most days? Or rather, are you among others that have to sit back, watch the clock, and count the endless moments of holy crap moments, right? Those moments that literally suck the life out of the room. That doesn't make for a fun workplace. And I'm here to tell you today, it just doesn't have to be that way. We can actually work in an organization that's filled with fun, that's filled with engagement, that's filled with creativity and innovation, like we heard some of the other speakers talk about today. But how do you do it? How do you create an environment like that? I'm going to give you 2 strategies among many that I'm going to talk about today. Aim for amazing and ditch the downers. So let's think about aiming for amazing and ditching the downers. Now, let's look at an analogy. Let's say you have 10 people on your team. Many of us have smaller teams that are built of about 10 people. Let's say you have 3 people on that team that are absolutely busting their butts. However, 5 of those people are literally just looking at the scenery. Two of those people painfully are trying to sink the ship. Now, unfortunately, the sad truth is that represents today an average American U.S. company. That represents their level of engagement. What a scary thing. And when you look at that, here are the statistics. 30% of those 3 people represent 30% of the employees out of that 10-person team or across your organization that are engaged. Awesome. But guess what? It also represents the 52%, those 5 people. They are the ones that are disengaged. But alarmingly so, 18% are actively disengaged. Now, this is the group of people that they are trying to do more harm to your company than good. Scary stuff. And you may ask, well, why is engagement such an important topic today? Why do we even need to care about engagement? Well, did you know that highly engaged employees are 480% more committed to helping your organization succeed? We have tough problems in our companies today. We have to be able to solve those problems. Engagement is only one way to do it. So I ask, when I think about this, or you might wonder, well, if those engaged employees are the ones that we want in our workplaces, how the heck do we find them? How the heck do we find those individuals and even promote them into our highest, most important leadership roles? What do we do? Well, as we aim for amazing, we want to attract, because we are in a war for top talent. We want to be able to attract the best people into our organizations. But how do we do it? Well, I believe with aiming for amazing, we have to take a look at the individuals, of course, hiring for skill. That's a no-brainer, right? But we have to hire for more than just skill. We need to hire for attributes that create an amazing culture. Attributes like passion. Now, think about people on your team. Do you have individuals on your team that literally bring their head, heart, and hands to work every single day? Because you know when you have somebody that's passionate, that's standing next to you, collaborating with you, or participating in a meeting or a team environment that has passion, you absolutely know it, because that passionate person is willing to do whatever it takes. They are committed. See, that is the difference between passionate people and not. They will bring that extra effort, that extra energy, their discretionary energy to work. Passionate people want to make a difference. They want to make a difference not only for themselves and their loved ones and their families, but they want to make a difference for their teams, for their organizations, and maybe even more importantly, for their entire communities for which they live. So passion is one of those skills that is pretty incredible, because we hire for talent, we hire for the skill that they actually bring, and that is great, but passion, when we hire for passion, that's a game changer. Another trait or quality that I like to focus on when I'm trying to bring in that top talent in the world, when I'm trying to look and find that top talent that we're ever so searching for, is courage. Now, we heard about different fears that we have today from earlier speakers, like Linda Kroll. She talked about fear, the fear of change and how to move through it. Well, certainly we all face fears. And courage is one of those traits that if you're able to bring that to the forefront and find it, it's amazing what can be done. Think about this. When you identify a problem or a problem in your organization, do you and your teams and your highest level leaders have the courage to step up and share a message in a way that maximizes candor and minimizes defensiveness? Do they do that? If they don't, maybe they aren't demonstrating the courage that you need. Think about the leaders in your organization that you are getting ready to hopefully take individual contributors, putting them into those leadership roles. Do they demonstrate, have the ability to demonstrate that leadership, to demonstrate it through the skill set of courage? See, I would choose candor over curt and accountability over blame every single day. Partner with those individuals who you trust, who you honor, and certainly promote the people with the right traits. In addition to passion and in addition to courage, curiosity is one of those skills we have to hire for. Now, I know the saying is curiosity killed the cat, right? We know that. Well, curiosity didn't kill the cat, right? Curiosity is a catalyst for innovation, and we heard other speakers talk about innovation today. Well, without curiosity, how do you get to innovation? It's the birthplace of innovation. It's an absolute catalyst. The last professional interview I ever went on before I went out on my own and started speaking full-time and still doing training as well, I'll never forget it, because, you know, an interview is scheduled for about an hour, and you go and you sit down with the person that potentially will be your boss, and they begin with some niceties, you know, exchanging the pleasantries, and then you engage in the questions, right? Well, this interview was like none other that I've ever been on. The interviewer proceeded to ask me 3 behavioral-based questions, just 3. I answered them. You know, tell me a time when, give me an example of how. I answered them. That took about 12 minutes of the 60 minutes. He then proceeded to do something extremely odd. He said to me, Tracy, what questions do you have for me? 12 minutes in? What? He must not be interested in me. He must not want to hire me. He must not want me, he probably wants me to leave, right? He's not interested. Isn't that what you would think? Yes or no? Yes. So I said to myself, well, I'm going to pull out my sheet of questions, and I proceeded to ask my questions. And we engaged in comfortable, fun, engaging dialogue. Now, you might ask, well, why did I share this story with you? Well, it's interesting because when I tended to think about that experience after I got home, yes, I thought it was really odd, but then it dawned on me. That was an absolute brilliant interview strategy. But why? It was brilliant because that person was interviewing me for my level of curiosity. He wanted to know, yes, also for my level of preparedness, but he wanted to know, am I curious about the position? What is my interest level in his leadership style? How much am I interested in the workplace culture with which I'm applying to work for? Because guess what? All interviews are an interview between the interviewer and the interviewee and vice versa. We have to make sure that the people that we're hiring that we're trying to bring into their organizations are the top tier talent that we truly want, but it has to be a good fit too. So when you aim for amazing, if you're really searching for a workplace that you would consider a holy cow workplace, one where you can come to work and feel invigorated, one where you can come to work and actually love work again, I would much rather work no more days in my life, but just go to work and have a blast. And this is one way that you can take those small incremental changes to make that transformation happen.